South Africa's Constitutional Court is about to rule on whether President Jacob Zuma should pay back public money used to upgrade his private residence. A report released 2 years ago by the public protector found that $15 million was used for so-called security upgrades. The renovations included a swimming pool, an amphitheatre, a cattle enclosure. Members from two opposition parties took the president to court to force him to pay the money back. Well, Zuma denies any wrongdoing, but in February he offered to repay some of the costs. Let's get more on this. Melanie Rice is following developments for us from Cape Town. Melanie, give us a bit of background to this story, because how did we end up with the South African president's private home being argued about in the country's highest court?
Well, this really all started around 7 years ago, just after Jacob Zuma took office. And cabinet ministers are assigned around $7,000 to do security upgrades to their private residence. And a local newspaper got wind of the fact that a helipad was being built and the cattle enclosure. And there was a complaint laid with the public protector, who's South Africa's anti-corruption watchdog. She investigated, and 2 years ago, she found in a report called Secure in Comfort that he should pay back some of the around $15 million spent on his house for things that were not security upgrades. And then a separate inquiry was launched that was headed up by the Minister of Police, who was appointed by Zuma, and he cleared Zuma of all wrongdoings. There's been a lot of ducking and diving, and to this day, Zuma has not paid a cent for those upgrades. And the opposition party, the EFF, then went to the Constitutional Court. They were joined by another opposition, the official opposition, the DA, and the public protector, to ask the court to compel Zuma to pay back the money and to find that he breached the Constitution and his oath of office in failing to comply with her findings.
So what are the implications here for Jacob Zuma? Could we see an impeachment?
Well, that's really up to the ANC leadership. The National Assembly, which has also been taken to court, and they've asked the court to find that they breached their constitutional obligation in not forcing him to repay the money. But the National Assembly really holds the impeachment proceedings would require a 2/3 majority, and the ANC holds the majority of seats. And ANC MPs will go along with what leadership says. So it depends on whether the leaders of the ruling party decide that Jacob Zuma is too much of a liability going forward. It's a local election year, national elections in 2019. How much of a liability he's going to be after this judgment.
Okay, interesting to speak to you on this, Melanie. We are expecting that ruling any moment now, and we will come back to you when we get that. Melanie Rice joining us there live from Cape Town.